Let's go to talk to Albert Breer, brought to you by Mercedes-Benz, the best or nothing. By the way, that was kind of a ambiguity balloon Russell Wilson set out there. I was like, it's interesting, Albert. This morning I was writing some notes down. I think it's because I don't like their personnel. I think Dwayne Brown, they don't have a star running back, nothing resembling it. I don't think they have a number one receiver. I think DK Metcalf looks great in the hotel lobby, but he doesn't run real great routes. If you look in the division, you've got Rams are the best pass blocking O-line. Niners are the highest rated run blocking line. Kittle, Tebow Samuel, Cooper Kupp, D-Hop. I just don't think Seattle has great offensive personnel. Dwayne Brown's the second best offensive player. He's had a bad year. He's ranked 27th. That's how I view it. I think they need to reboot personnel. I don't think they have a star back, a star tight end, a star receiver, a star O-line. How do you view – I really don't. How do you view Russell Wilson right now and what he's surrounded by?
They also don't have a first-round pick. Yeah. So if you want to reboot, that's part of it too, is that you're probably going to need some draft capital to do that. And right now, because of the Jamal Adams trade – they don't have it. I'm with you, Colin. I think it's a tough situation for him to be in personally. And again, I know that I've done this a couple times with you, but I think you have to go back to kind of why he rattled the cage last year. And a huge part of that was because he views this as the beginning of the second half of his career. And for him, personal legacy is a big part of that. And so, I think chasing a championship and having the right pieces around him to make All-Pro and eventually get in the Hall of Fame, that's important stuff to him. And so if he was asking these questions after winning 12 games and the division last year, how do you think he's going to feel about it, in a season in which he's won 5 games and the Seahawks have 10 losses for the first time since before Pete Carroll was even there? I think it's pretty clear at this point that this thing is probably hurtling towards a conclusion. And the contract's a part of it too. I think that there's been an acknowledgement for a little while there. There's a good likelihood that this is going to be the last contract he signs in Seattle. Right now, you got 2 years left on it, and that gives the Seahawks a chance to get real value for him because whatever team's trading for him, it's the same situation as Stafford last year where the Rams had 2 years left on that contract. That adds value in a trade. And so I think for the team, based on where they are and what they're going to need to rebuild, the place they are in Wilson's contract, and then Russell's personal situation, this sure feels like, we could be talking a couple of weeks the same way we were talking about Detroit and Stafford last year where, everybody sits down and meets and just decides that this is the time for everyone to move on.
By the way, Aaron Rodgers mentioned retirement for the second time. He did it right before the season. He did it this week. Now, my theory was there's no chance he retires. What it is, because he doesn't have a no-trade clause, so he could be traded anywhere. He said it to let teams like Cleveland and Washington and the Raiders know, don't even try. He didn't say that to Denver or Pittsburgh. He has no power, and he's saying that to let you know, I'm not going to a bad situation. I'm not going to a bottom. Yeah. That's my takeaway, yours.
I mean, Colin, don't you think this guy, guys of that stature sort of have de facto no trade clauses, don't they? Can't he just say, he's like an NBA player. Can't he just say, yeah, I'm not going there, And is a team really going to deal away 3 or 4 first-round picks knowing the guy doesn't want to be there? Yes, Deshaun Watson has a no-trade clause in his contract, and that allows him to dictate where he's going to go, and Aaron Rodgers contractually does not have that. But, I think that if you really want to look at it and the hammer that Aaron Rodgers has here, maybe that's why he did that, but I don't think he even needs to. I think, he can make it clear where he wants to go, and I think any team, knowing who he is and how he operates, isn't going to trade away 3 or 4 first-round picks and push all their chips into the middle of the table on Aaron Rodgers if they don't think he's going to want to play there. Beyond just all of that, you don't want an unhappy player, So, I get what you're getting at. I think he does these things sometimes just to troll people and because he likes making headlines. And I think it certainly makes sense that this could set up for him in the offseason to sort of dictate where he goes. But, I look at logistically where he is, the star power he has, the leverage he has, and I don't think he needs to threaten retirement to prevent certain teams from trading for him.
So Joe Burrow takes on the Chiefs. I looked at his numbers this morning. He's having a remarkable season. His completion percentage is near the top of the league. His passer rating, he he leads the NFL in completions over like 30 yards. So he's a big over the top. He takes big swings. And, Baker makes more noise. Ben is retiring. Lamar is so unique. He kind of gets lost in his own division sometimes. Yeah. I don't know if we understand how great Burrow has been this year.
Colin, are we sure he's not the MVP of the league?
I looked at the numbers this morning. It's incredible.
I mean, and when you want to talk about a change agent, right? Like a guy who can go in and change a place. Like, look at what he's done and look at the way they play now and look at the confidence in that building. And, there's a real parallel here, too, because when you talk to scouts who went through LSU in 2019 and before the draft in 2020, you know what they would all tell you? This guy's a culture changer. Think about what LSU was before Joe Burrow got there.
Yeah.
Great defense. If they were even competent on offense, it was because of the run game. They never had a quarterback, right? Never. And look at what they became in 2 years. Remember, he wasn't there for 4 or 5 years. He was there for 2 years. Look at what they became. Really at the end of his first year and then going into his second year, it was like it was a different program. And then once he left, they reverted. So I look at just the way he's played, how he's elevated guys around him. You look at the guys around him too, Colin. They're all younger than him, right? T. Higgins is younger than him. Jamar Chase is younger than him. Joe Mixon's the same age as him. So it's not like there are veteran players there, helping him run the show. This is his show. That whole idea of the culture changer, the way he's played, he's been so valuable to them. Yeah, I think you can make a case that he's the MVP of the league. And it's interesting because, as I've talked to him over the last 2 or 3 months, every time I bring up the idea, the same old Bengals, you know what his response is? It's just that's dead. Those Bengals don't exist anymore.
Yeah.
So, I just look when you use that word value and most valuable player, I'm not sure that we shouldn't be taking a hard look at him. And he's got good opportunities the next 2 weeks too, right? They're playing against the Chiefs this week. If he outguns Patrick Mahomes, look out. Maybe that storyline gets going.
Finally, you have your annual future GM list, 29 scouts and personnel experts that could become GMs. And unlike coaches, where there is sort of this, linear thing, this chart, this pyramid you can move up in, it's not like you can go to Ohio State and major in NFL GMing. Sometimes they're scouts, they're personnel guys, they're good assistants, and you look up and they're GMs. Give me a name or two. Who's the next Chris Ballard? Who's the next hot shot that I should be keeping my eye on?
I'll give you a couple. Will McClay is one in Dallas, where if you could ever get him out of there, he's just got such varied experience. He coached. He was actually a head coach in the Arena League, believe it or not. Worked in analytics and has worked in scouting. And if you look at the Cowboys roster, take the drama out of it, take the injury situations out of it. He's helped put together maybe the best roster in the league, and he has a lot of GM-like responsibilities there because the owner's got the GM title. And so if I'm a team like the Giants, I may be taking a big swing on a Will McClay and seeing if I can get him out of there. He's loyal to the Cowboys. He makes good money, so it's not going to be easy to get him out of there, but he's one name to watch. Another one that I think is right on the verge is Joe Schoen in Buffalo. And you look at that personnel department, how well they've been run over the last 5 years. Joe Schoen's been the right-hand man to the general manager, Brandon Beane there. They've developed a young quarterback. They've flipped over the roster. They've managed the cap. I know they've had their ups and downs this year, but if you just look at how well-run Buffalo's been over the last 5 years, I think you say Brandon Beane's done a great job. You look who's been sitting right next to him for the whole time. It's Joe Schoen. So, if I'm a team like, say, a Vegas or if Chicago were to turn over, I look at those teams and you say, okay, how can we make sure that we're building the right way around our quarterback? Joe Schoen's somebody that I think has got a lot of great experience having done it in Buffalo.
Great stuff. Albert Breer, Monday Morning Quarterback. Happy holidays to you. Happy New Year, bud.
All right. Thanks, Colin. I appreciate it.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from The Herd or go watch a few segments from other shows on FS1.